This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, April the 23rd, and I think I have hacked this Facebook crisis of not letting us start on time. Actually, the last 3 weeks have gone in a little bit different way, and it is letting me in the first time, so that is fantastic. But hello and happy Sunday, everybody. If you are watching this later on YouTube, that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. Go ahead. I'm going to start this early in the chat tonight. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Subscribe, please. It seems like less and less people are watching us later on YouTube, and that's very sad to me. So, okay, let's see who we have here. Let's see who is sneaking in with us, and let me see if I can get on with you all live. Oh, yep, says I am live. That is fantastic. Yeah, I know I'm live. I'm already here, and hello, Elaine. It's good to see you. Let's see if I can get on with you all. La la la. And I think this is letting us broadcast this live over in the group too, so I'm hoping that it's doing that also. I see Cindy sneaking in here. Let me see who else I can find. Let's see, Margaret sneaking in. Hello, Sandra from Demon's Ferry. Hello, Annette. Good evening to you as well. Hello, Marianne from Mary from Pittsburgh. Hello, Joycelyn. Hello, Carol Lou. Good to see you. Also, if you're new, please let us know because we would love to welcome you. And hello, Marlene from Florida. Hello, Melissa. It's been a minute since I've said hello to you. And hello, Christy. So again, if you're new, let us know because we would love to welcome you. Today is Sunday, April the 23rd. Don't know if you noticed it or not, but I'm back in a lightweight sweatshirt again. The weather in East Tennessee is schizophrenic. So we had a sprinkling of days in the 80s. Then we had several days that were, you know, like in the 50s or something. Then we had this swoosh of weather that was in the 70s to 80s, and today it was like 50. So I don't know, the weather's schizophrenic. And hello, Lynn. We'll say hello to just a few more people. Hello, Sandy. If you're watching this later on YouTube, if you don't want to hear all the highs and hellos, if you don't want to, it's crazy, but why wouldn't you? But if you don't want to hear them all, I think Casey has been putting a timeline, or what do you call that? Chapters? I don't know. She's been putting something on there so you know where to go, so you know what to skip to. And hello, Roberta. Hello, Anna. It's good to see you. Hello, Kim. Anyway, she's been trying to do the chapter thing and put it on there, just so that if you need to go specifically to one section, that you can go there. Casey has been busy with markets the last couple of weekends, and whoo boy howdy, I did not realize how much I rely on her to get these chats done for me and to help me with my notes, because it is handwritten paper notes tonight because Casey's been busy with her own markets. But anyway, again, hello and happy Sunday, everybody. I see several people have scooted in here now, so we'll go ahead and get started. But today is Sunday, April the 23rd. I'm Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. If you are new, or if you've forgotten, and hello, Vicki, you can always go back and watch these later on Facebook, or you can go back and watch them, read them, print them, whatever you need to do on www.ifyouhaveanegg.com. She is Carol Lou, I know. Any recipes that I talk about, if they are mine, they will also always be posted on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Hello, Marlene. Let's see. Yeah. And if you're not already in our closed Facebook group, perhaps since Carol Lou is here, maybe I can get her to share that link and you all could scoot on over there and request to join. Please do answer the 3 questions, though. We've had a couple of creepers try to sneak in. I don't know why somebody would try to sneak into a Weight Watchers group. It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, whatever. So if you decide to join the closed Facebook group that is also If You Have an Egg, you can, just answer the 3 questions and I'll let you in. And hello, Jonna. It's good to see you. Marlene, thank you very much. It is the Walking with Karen. Marlene, that was very sweet. It was the Walking with Karen in the fresh air. I think that always just does something for my skin. Okay, so this is chat number 315, and it is titled, and thank you, Carol Lou, very much for posting that. So, and hello, Lori. If you are not in the If You Have an Egg group yet, I suggest after the chat, or if you can click on it while we are talking and then come right back, that would be totally fine with me. But Carol Lou has posted the link to go over to our closed Facebook group, and if you want to go ahead and go join that and then come right back, or maybe it'll let you join it and not leave the chat. I don't really know. I've never tried to do that before. Again, answer those 3 questions. A lot of you all, just because I've been doing, I don't know, I don't like math, but I love statistics for some bizarre reason, but I'm hearing a lot of you all are really struggling since you've lost your in-person meetings, and then a lot of you all never had an in-person meeting, I'm telling you, finding a support group like If You Have an Egg is, I mean, I think it's critical to this. So, yeah. And Marlene says, I keep losing and gaining the same 2 to 3 pounds. Anyone else dealing with this? And Marlene, we literally just talked about that. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Were you here 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when we were talking about that? I'm going to sidetrack for just a second and say to Marlene that, yeah, I mean, it happens. And if you all were watching or maybe weren't paying attention, I don't know, I would highly suggest, and other people can chime in when you want to, because actually we're running like right on time tonight. So I am going to sidetrack and go ahead and answer that question for myself. For myself, if I keep gaining and losing the same 2 to 3 pounds, and it happens, I mean, it happens to the best of us, but if it's been longer than a few weeks, so I'm not going to say if you've gained and lost the same 2 to 3 pounds over just a couple of weeks, but if it just keeps happening and you see that same pattern, up, down, up, down, up, down, I'm going to suggest that you change up something. Whether it's adding back points, if you're eating a lot of 0-point food, you might want to switch to some foods that have points, and I don't mean M&Ms or Skittles. I'm talking about some food. You might want to switch up to something that has some points. That always helps me to kind of kick that back in again, because your body does get complacent. You know, you don't want your body to think that you're starving to death, okay? Or I'll add a lot of protein. So when I find, and again, everybody's going to be different, but I find that when I keep gaining and losing the same couple of pounds over and over and over again, that either I need to add back in some not 0-point foods, and again, not M&Ms or Skittles, or I need to add some more protein at breakfast. So if that is happening to me, hello, Orlando Debbie. We're just sidetracked here. So what advice, because you've been doing this a long time too, and so has Lynn, what advice do you have for somebody who is kind of on that steady, you know, like this kind of roller coaster? And that's not even a roller coaster. I'm trying to think what ride that is at the fair. The Himalayan, maybe, where you just keep going up and down that same bump, but you don't ever go woo woo. You just keep going up and down, you know, that same bump. But anyway, for me, adding back some foods that are non-zero foods, just to kind of change it up a little bit in my body. Adding a lot of some protein at the end of the day, or not the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, adding some more protein. You might find this odd. I am not diabetic. I am not pre-diabetic, but my mother was diabetic. Her father was diabetic. And I find that if I eat too much fruit, and again, I'm not diabetic, but if I eat too much fruit, I will just not, my weight loss is just not what it needs to be. Yep, and Lynn says exactly right. Add some more protein, add some protein to that. And sometimes I will just do, like for a couple of weeks, I will use all my points. Hello, Kathy, which sounds, I don't know, it sounds counterintuitive, but it works for me. So you might want to try one or a combination of those things. So people who are just joining us, we sidetracked a little bit because we've got a couple of people that are gaining and losing the same, you know, pound or 2 pounds, you know, consistently over a couple of weeks. And so we were just throwing out some ideas for them on things that you could do. And I mentioned for me personally, adding some protein at breakfast, changing something up, like adding some more pointed foods instead of just 0-point foods. Or sometimes for 2 weeks, I will just use all of my points. Okay, so those of you who've been around a little while and know this is life, you know that it's going to happen. If you all want to throw out some suggestions, that will be great. And I'm going to go ahead and start talking about some news for this week. The one bit of news, and Debbie's got some great advice there, the one bit of news that I have for this week, my app has not updated to this yet. Julie, in our closed Facebook group, in the If You Have an Egg group, and a couple of you have, hello Sherry, and a couple of you, your app has already updated, and you've noticed that 0-point foods are now green. Okay, notice I said my app has not updated, and I said some of you, your app has updated. And Marlene, let us know how it goes. So, not all of us have, okay? So don't go hurry and look at your WW app and then go, Kelly, mine is not green. Mine is not green yet either. Mine has not updated. And I tried to go do a forced refresh. I even tried logging out of the Weight Watchers app and logging back in. Did not force it yet. So I don't know. Hello, Jennifer. I don't know when it's going to roll out for everybody. But I know of at least a couple of the girls in the If You Have an Egg group, it has. And Julie was one of them, and Julie actually put a a screenshot on there. She put a screenshot on there. Okay, so Marianne's has already updated, but Julie was the first person that I saw that. Marianne's has updated. Several of you, and Debbie's in with some more good advice for those of you who've been kind of on a roller coaster. But anyway, so for those of you that your app has already updated, and again, I tried to do a forced refresh and it did not work for me. I tried logging out and logging back in, didn't update it. So the rest of us will just have to be patient, but they have, well, and Elaine's has updated too. So for those of you that your app has updated, oh, and Julie is here. So Julie, we were just talking about what you had shown us yesterday, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, about, when Sandra's has updated too, that some people, Lori's is too, their app has already updated and 0 Point foods are now green, which I think is a fantastic idea because then you don't have to guess. I mean, I know it should be kind of obvious, you know, that it's a 0, but I think if you're scrolling through foods, I think that's a great idea to make them green. What I wanted to say though, before anyone gets confused, please, while I think that this is a great idea to have the 0 Point foods be green, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, I'm going to get 100 questions from people saying, oh my gosh, we're back on blue, green, and purple again. We are not. We are not back on 3 plans again, okay? That was the biggest news that I had for today is, hooray, sounds like a good thing that 0 Point foods are going to be posted as green, but it sent me into a full-blown panic thinking that people were going to be inundating me with questions about, are we going back on blue, green, and purple? We are not. Hello, Katie. Okay, so that was my news for today. Okay, I need to know who sat their bottom in a chair last week. Give me some thumbs ups. If you sat your bottom in a chair at an in-person workshop last week, or if you attended a Zoom workshop last week, give me a thumbs up. I saw, I don't know, 24 of you, I guess, at Gwen's workshop. Marianne sitting in a green chair. Gwen's workshop is on, she's an actual Weight Watchers coach. I am not. I'm a fake Weight Watchers coach. Just kidding. I'm just a wannabe. Just love to do it. She's an actual Weight Watchers coach, and I saw, I think it was 24 of you all in her Zoom on Thursday night. If you want more information on the Zoom, you can holler at me. I cannot give out the Zoom code. You actually do have to be a Weight Watchers member with the super special, pumped up, amped up, whatever digital membership to get to that. It's not that hard. It's not as hard as I just made it sound. But anyway, so thumbs ups if you sat your bottom in a chair, if you attended a Zoom workshop last week. So thumbs ups for that, or hearts if you were here with us last week live, or if you watched later on demand. Yep, and Vicky loves Gwen, loves her Zoom information. So who all was here last Thursday? So I was looking for my phone, and I will tell you, I'm not a fan of doing the Zoom from my phone. I'm gonna have to try and do it on my laptop. Yeah, I saw you, Sandra. And I saw Lynn. Who else did I see last week at Gwen's Zoom? But I'm gonna have to figure out how to do it on my laptop, or maybe at least on the iPad, because I had forgotten. Of course, we did that during COVID, but I had forgotten. I'd forgotten how I have to scroll back and forth to see everybody on a phone, and I didn't enjoy that. And Katie says they had their first week at their new location, and they went from the mall to a hotel. So how was that? Hopefully y'all had it around the pool or something. But bravo stickers to everybody who went to an in-person workshop, watched a Zoom workshop, or was here with us last week. Bravo, bravo, everybody. Last week was chat number 314, and we were talking about you know, kind of how to celebrate some, you know, you have some small wins, you know, all the time, every day you have some small wins, but how to, you know, kind of blow those up into some big victories. And we were talking about how to make just something that's a simple step, something that's as simple as, you know, maybe just like prepping your vegetables when you get home, or, you know, just some simple step that you take, how you were going to make it happen, and then how you were going to memorialize that win. And so last week, I wanted your homework to be #VictoryLapper. And y'all were so funny in your responses, and I got some great responses at our in-person workshop here in Knoxville in Powell. But the first person that did, like right out of the gate, first person who did their homework last week was Sylvia. And Sylvia has found such a simple thing that she needs to do, which is getting her food ready. It's such a simple thing, but she figured out a way to turn it into a big victory. She actually found a YouTuber, and I will have to go back and look at her post to find out what the YouTuber's name is, but this YouTuber shows you how she preps meals. And so Sylvia has been using those. She's got a series of meal prepping that you turn it into like a bowl. So it's more like eating at Chipotle or something like that. And Sylvia has turned that into a big win. So a small task like meal prepping, and she has turned it into a big win for her in her weight loss journey, and also for her family, because these are things that her husband will eat, you know, and they're happy about it. So, oh no, hello Mindy. Mindy says I'm breaking up on her end and she can just barely understand me. So hopefully that is not happening with everybody. If you all will chime in and let me know, that would be great. I was not able to get on live because John, I have my own Wi-Fi on the phone. I was using John's Wi-Fi on the iPad and he walked off with Dusty. So I can't join you all on the iPad. But anyway, I thought that was a fantastic idea and great. Everybody else is not having problems. So Mindy, maybe log out or, you know, like go off and go back in. We had a couple of other people. Oh yeah. Sorry, did I back up too much? Okay. Yeah, because Vicki said my face was out of focus. So let me scoot up. I think I backed away from the camera too much. But anyway, so, whew, and I hope I'm not too loud, Carol, because I feel like I'm shouting. But we had a couple of people at our in-person workshop that were, oh, and apparently I'm good in Pittsburgh. And thank you again, Mary, for going and doing that. But we had a couple of people at our in-person workshop that are, I'm going to say, taking something simple, which is checking in with their peeps, you know, like keeping in touch with everybody. And they are driving their workshop that was in like the Jacksboro La Follette area, which is kind of where our shop is. Their workshop closed during COVID and did not reopen. And like a lot of you all, they did not have an in-person workshop to go to, but they took, and their names are Jane, and I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, the other lady's name has just completely escaped me. So if Gwen watches this later, she'll have to tell me her name. I know it. I see her every Tuesday. Anyway, and Jane and Jane's table buddy. Okay. But anyway, oh my gosh, I know her name. But anyway, they took something so small, which was keeping in touch with their, you know, with their peeps, keeping in touch with their peeps, and turned it into a big victory because they drive over an hour to an hour and a half every Tuesday night to come to our in-person workshop. You know, and I think that's a small win, just something as simple as checking in with, you know, with your peers. That turned it into a big victory. So bravo, extra bravo stickers for everyone who did their homework last week. I think it was a really good one. This week is chat number 315, and we are talking about something that Gwen likes to call temptation bundling, and I noticed that it was actually called temptation bundling if you go to your app, if you go to your WW app, and if you go to the three little lines, a little hamburger thing, it's like a bun, a burger, and a bun, in the upper left-hand corner of your app. When you touch that, you can now find the Discover Content category is down that list again. Yay! Thank you, whoever at Weight Watchers put that there. But if you go there, and you go to this past week's, and you go to this past week's topic, so I've noticed that down in the body, they actually, they're talking about the technique, and they give you your 3 fast facts, and they did actually start talking about temptation bundling. So that's what we were talking about tonight. And in case you're new, I always talk about whatever was the prior week's topic for Weight Watchers. So hopefully if you have an in-person workshop to go to, that you go to that. If you don't, hopefully you have found your favorite Weight Watchers person, leader, so like a scout leader, taking us on this little adventure. Hopefully you found your favorite person and you are able to see them on Zoom. I know Mindy has been helping out Gwen, even though Mindy does not have her own groups right now. Gwen is so sweet. She is my leader, and she is so sweet, and she is much better at technology than she was pre-COVID, but Mindy has been so sweet to help co-host her, her Zoom chats. But anyway, so if you're new, we always talk about whatever the prior week's topic was, so that, and you all make a dynamic duo team, Mindy, by the way. Maybe they should pair you all up somehow. But what was I going to say? So if you need like a refresher from the prior week, if you missed the prior week, if you just didn't understand what it was, I try to come back the following week and just give you, like a refresher on it. So this past week at Weight Watchers, we were talking about temptation bundling. We were talking about taking things that you love to do and then things that you don't necessarily love to do but you don't hate them, and bundling those together. Oh, and Kim says, I do not like Zoom but would love to catch Gwen. You would love to catch Gwen. She's fantastic. It is literally like you're sitting there with her. So, I mean, I don't know. COVID was the first time I had used Zoom, but I'm telling you, and I see Gwen in person every single Tuesday night, but I so love seeing her sweet face again. And I love seeing you all because it's like, there were like 24 or 25 of y'all, I think, there this last week. And I love it because it's literally like we're sitting around, you know, isn't it not, Lynn? It's like we're just sitting around, just like a little fireside chat, like we're all just sitting around talking to each other. Okay, so back on the topic, this is chat number 315. That means there's 314 other YouTube videos, plus however many recipes I've done, plus however many non-Weight Watchers topic things I've done, that you can hop on over. It's actually this direction, I think. Hop on over to YouTube and watch. It's just youtube.com. Search If You Have an Egg. You can go check all of those out. If you're new to Weight Watchers, if you've recently lost your in-person group, if you just need to figure out how to start or whatever, you can pop on over there and watch those. But this week, for chat number 315, we're talking about temptation bundling. And so what temptation bundling is, again, it's taking something that you love, like I love Dusty, you know, and then something that you don't necessarily love, but don't hate. And yes, Merlene, Gwen does do a Zoom meeting. Yes, that's on Thursday nights. And if I'm getting sidetracked again, if you all need the information on Gwen's Zoom meeting, I cannot give out the Zoom number. You need to have a hello, Lisa. You need to have the correct kind of digital membership to be able to go over and view that. And Mindy, what is that one called? So there's a particular level of digital membership. Since I'm at a franchise location, I don't know what that's called. So you'll have to tell me. But anyway, there's a certain level of a digital membership that you have to be able to go view that. Anyway, we can give you the information premium. So premium digital is what Mindy says you need. And I can't give you the Zoom number, but she is in the West Knoxville group. So if you go to your app, if you are at least a premium digital member and you go to groups, you can search for her in the West Knoxville group. Okay, so give out the Connect group name. If I could think what it was, hold on. And I don't think I'm going to be able to look over here because I think John did walk off with the Wi-Fi. And y'all have 100% distracted me. You know what I mean? Yeah, and Debbie reminds us that it is not the core. It's not the core plan. Let me see. Oh, I think I got it. I think I'm back on the Wi-Fi. Let me go to Connect and look real quick. So temptation bundling. Let's just use this as our temptation bundling example, okay? Okay, yeah, Kingston Pike, West Knoxville, that is what it's called. So let's use this for our temptation bundling example. So I love talking to Gwen. I love talking to Gwen. Love seeing Gwen, you know, whatever. I don't necessarily love Zoom, but I don't hate it, you know. But temptation bundling, to make sure that I get that second dose of Gwen every week, I'm going to bundle those two together. So you'll take something that you love. I know, Mindy, it's okay. It's Kingston Pike, West Knoxville, but I'm going to look it up too. But so for the temptation bundling, you take something that you love to do. I love to talk with Gwen. And you're going to pair it with something that you don't love to do, but not something that you hate. So like if you hate swimming, you're not going to take something that you love and pair it with swimming, okay? Or if you, like me, you hate running. It doesn't have to be activity, or cleaning. Like I can't stand to clean. I'd much rather mow the yard. But you're going to take something you love, something that you don't love but you don't hate, and pair them together. And you're gonna bundle that temptation. You're gonna bundle what you need to do with something that you love to do, and it's called temptation bundling when you do that. So let me find. So in this example, if you go to Connect, and if you go to Browse Groups, and when you go to Browse Groups, let's see if it's going to let me look this up. You go to the little search thing on my iPad. It's in the upper right hand corner, and I'm going to type in Knoxville. And when you type in Knoxville, it says Kingston Pike. That is Kingston. That's the name of the street. then it's Pike, not Avenue, not Drive. It's Kingston Pike, Pike dash W period Knoxville, Knoxville, comma TN. So if you just type in, if you go to that search and if you type, thank you, Lynn, very much. So good, Elaine. So if you go to Kingston Pike, West Knoxville, if you just type in Knoxville or start typing in Knoxville, it's going to pop up, and it's the only one that pops up. Right now, there are 671 people in that group. You all help me blow her away. You would just absolutely, okay, so there's off and on, there's like 50 of you already here. Okay, and there will be more. By the time this is posted tomorrow, over 2,000 people will have watched this. You all help me blow her away, and those of you all that are in that premium digital category, please go join her group, because that number right now is 671. I would love it if you all pushed her over, I don't know, let's push her over 800. Okay, that's only 129 people. She would just be, what? She would just be flabbergasted if you all pushed her over 800. So that's our goal, is to push her over 800. Okay, so temptation bundling. Your homework this week is to take a task, tempt yourself to do it. So you're going to do a temptation bundle. You're going to take a task and tempt yourself with something else. So the homework is hashtag task tempter. You're going to be a task tempter. So it's TASKTEM, well, TASKTEMPTER. So a task tempter. Thank you, Mary. But you're going to be a task tempter this week. So you're going to take something, again, that you love. So let's say if you love talking with us, and if you want to, if you would love to be able to actually talk with us, because when you all are on the Zoom, Gwen can see you. She can see your pretty face. I can see you. Mindy can see you, because we can all see you and you can see us, and we can actually talk to you. It's like we're sitting here talking to each other. So if you love to chat with people, to have an in-person meeting, once a week, but you don't necessarily love Zoom, but you don't hate it, you could go either way, that would be a great way to be a task tempter and bundle those two things. Let me give you another example. Another example is, oh, and Carol is not a premium member. Poop. Well, you'll just have to do this with us here then. But here's just another, thank you, Lynn, for posting that. Here's another way that you can be a task tempter. You can name 3 things. This is really easy if you can't think of anything. Super easy way to do this is name 3 things so pick 3 things that you genuinely enjoy. So 3 things that you love doing and you genuinely enjoy them. Then in a column next to it, I want you to list 3 things that you need to do to reach your goals, but you're kind of meh about it. You could take it or leave it. Not something that you hate. There is no 3 things that I love that's going to make me bundle this with running, okay? It's not going to happen. I'm not going to run. I've told you on multiple times, if you see me running, you need to run too, because something is chasing me, okay? Something bad is happening. But so put down 3 things that you love, and then next to that list, and they don't have to correspond yet, list 3 things that you know you need to do to meet your goals. And it might not be a weight loss goal. For me, I listed 3 things before the chat. I listed 3 things that I love to do, and I listed 3 things that I'm kind of meh about, but they're things that I need to do. And then I found 2 of them that would go together so that I could tempt that task. I could be a task tempter. For me at work, it is colored Post-it notes, markers, colored paper clips, fun little things like that. I've got some Mickey, like Post-it flags and things like that. And so I said, okay, well, I love colored notes. Oh no, yeah, Julie's not running either. And I think Debbie just did her homework. I love colored Post-it notes. I love colored pens. I love little, decorative stickers. I love any of that kind of stuff. And I need to organize what I'm doing every day at work, or I'll lose my mind. And it's kind of meh. I don't hate it, but I'm not excited about it. So I joined those 2 things. I took something from column 1, something from column 2, merged them together. I bundled them together, and now I've bundled that, done a temptation bundle. And so now I spent the weekend doing colorful little Post-it notes with magic markers and things like that, and bundled that temptation. Let's go see what Debbie did real quick before we go into the second half. So Debbie doesn't like to track, but she does it because she wants to be healthy and lose weight. So what do you do to make that fun, Debbie? So I know it's something that you need to do. That is a good one. But what's something that you do, what's something that you love to do that helps you to do that helps you to track? Okay, so literally, if you just list the 3 things you love, list 3 things that you want to do, that you need to do, but you're kind of meh about it, and join them together, you will have already done your homework and you'll get your next super cool badge. Okay, whew. So that was some fast talking. So this is the end of the first half of chat number 315. We were talking about temptation bundling, taking things that you love to do, combining them with things that you, yes, Sandra, so desperately need some water, things that you're meh, but you need to do, and bundle them together. So tonight, I'm going to be doing that in the second half. The thing I'm going to be doing in the second half after I get some water, well, we'll get some water first. So everybody, stop right now, get something to drink. I would love for it to be water, but I am watered out today. So instead, I got some Gatorade Zero because I am pee-arched, but I've had all the, I'm like up to here with water today. So before we go on with the second half of the chat, I need everybody to stop and get something to drink. This is the only time of the week that I know for a fact that you all got something to drink. Okay, so Kingston Pike. Let's see how many people we have now. Just checking. Oh, only 2 people have joined. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Go do it. Okay, if you are brand new, this is a 1-hour chat. I hope you went to the bathroom before you got started, okay? Oh, but it looks like Phyllis is doing her homework too. Ooh, wait, Phyllis loves to watch Days of Our Lives. She needs to ride her exercise bike, so she put her bike in front of the TV, and those are the 2 things that she has bundled together. That is awesome. What? Oh my gosh. And Debbie says that 7-Eleven has zero water as a Slurpee now. Well, that's interesting. I did not know that. Okay, so the first half of this chat, oh, if you're new, this is a 1-hour chat. So I hope you went to the bathroom before you joined us, because you're stuck here for another 27 minutes before you can take a potty break. Sorry, there are no commercials. We did all just get our drink of water, so hopefully everybody got something to drink. We were just talking about temptation bundling in the first half of the chat. So again, these are an hour long, and the first half is reviewing whatever the Weight Watchers topic was from the prior week. You do not have to be a member of Weight Watchers to enjoy these free chats. You absolutely do not have to be a member. You don't even have to be doing Weight Watchers. You know, I mean, some of these are just, some of the things that we talk about are just good life lessons, you know, no matter what you're doing. You don't even have to be losing weight. Some of these things we just need to know. Okay. And I'm sure true believer, or I do believe that we are all stronger together. So even if it's about raising kids, or like I'm going to sidetrack again for a second. So last Tuesday night, after our in-person workshop, I had this sweet little girl stop me, and she said, "Do you care if I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." And I thought it was going to be about this. And she said, "I hear you talking about your kids all the time." And she said, "How do you get them to eat? How do you get them to eat, you know, when little kids are such picky eaters?" And I said, "Well, my kid is almost 30 years old, so she can just eat whatever she wants to." And she didn't understand the humor in that. Apparently, I talk about Alyssa and Bo enough at our in-person workshop that she thought they were my children. Yeah. So anyway, my child is an adult, and she can eat whatever she wants to. So, you know, things like this. I mean, that had nothing to do with Weight Watchers, but she needed some advice on how to get her 5-year-old and 2-year-old to eat something besides chicken nuggets and fries. So ultimately, thank you, Jonna, and hopefully I'll see you Thursday night. So hopefully that little bit of advice that she got from me and from Gwen at our Tuesday night in-person workshop, she thought she was asking for advice on how to get her children who are picky eaters, how to get them to try some new things. But I promise you what's getting ready to happen is, if she can get them to try some new things, and she's not playing short order cook and making a meal for you, a meal for you, a meal for you, and by the time she gets to mom, she's just eating whatever's left on everybody else's plate. I promise you that's what's happening, because I did it for years. I see Casey doing it all the time. By the time you get to yourself, you're the last person in line. Okay, so sidetrack. Okay, so we, Debbie, what is she eating? Are you talking about Casey, or are you talking about Alyssa or Bo? I don't know. You're talking about her kids? I don't know. Well, that's why I said, or posted something earlier about those little cute little insect-looking vegetable things, because we're still struggling with Alyssa after that. Okay, so totally sidetracked myself. The point is, these are great to go back and watch. There are going to be 315 of them now after tonight. You can go back and watch them on YouTube. Not everything we talk about is Weight Watchers related, okay? This temptation bundling, I said at the end of, hello Evie, I said at the end of the first half that I was using, what's the lady eating? She's eating scraps off of her kids' plates. So by the time she makes a meal for her husband and both of the kids, by the time she gets to her, it's time to get everybody cleaned up, time to get all the kitchen cleaned up and get everybody to bed. I really, really, really think that she's eating she's eating the leftovers off of everybody else's plate, or I don't think she's making something that everyone will eat. I think she is literally playing short order cook and making 3 different meals, and then she's just having to eat something from the 3 different meals. So anyway, so hopefully she's going to have some good news for us this Tuesday night. But in the first half, I told you all that that I used temptation bundling. So we're talking about this in the sense of Weight Watchers, but I used it at work this week, and it worked fantastically. I took something that I love, which is colorful sticky notes, Post-it notes, colorful stickers, pins, things like that. I got a new board with some colorful push pins, so I can put what I've got to get done that day, up on that board. I color coded everything, based on what had to be done, what was first priority, second priority, what could be pushed to the next day. I took that and I doubled it. So I took something I love and I paired it with something that which is the getting organized and figuring out what I've got to get done at work, and I bundled them. So temptation bundling. I'm also temptation bundling tonight in the second half of tonight's chat. So something that I love to do is to make fun and easy recipes with you all. So I love doing that. Something that I hate doing, not hate doing because you weren't supposed to pick something that you hate, Kelly. Something that I'm about is making sure that I have what I need to eat for lunch at work. I am currently all alone. I'm all by myself at work right now. And I'm going to be for at least another couple of weeks. There's an afternoon, and on Saturdays, that's the only time that I see another soul. So I'm going to use the temptation bundling theory, and I'm going to do that tonight to get myself some things ready to eat for lunch. So again, something I love to do, which is to make fast and easy recipes with you all, with something that's to do, which is to make sure I have something to eat at lunch for work, and I'm going to merge them together. So I am doing my, oh man, I'm so sorry. Sorry, Carol Lou, I just picked Carol Lou's Task Tempter. You can still do it. You can still do it. But I had to do this so that I don't starve to death this week. You should have seen me digging in that refrigerator to see what was in there. One of the days last week, it was not pretty. Okay, so what I'm gonna make to last me for the next couple of days. So if you all know me, you know that I will not meal prep and eat the exact same thing every day. Okay, it is not gonna happen. So I'm gonna make this one way, just one way. It's like a base for this, and then I'm going to tell you the 3 different ways that I'm going to enjoy this week, and then I want you all to chime in and tell me, what other ideas you have. So this is going to be, we're going to have a summer salad series. So that's very hard to say. I want everybody to stop right now and say summer salad series 3 times fast. That little bit of warm weather that we had for a couple of days here in East Tennessee really got me thinking about some salads, fruit salads, salads, different kinds of pasta salads, all this kind of stuff. And one of the ladies that works in the cabinet division of the building that I'm in now, her daughter was with her, and she was there on one of the hot days, and she's 15, and she turned around and looked at me, and she goes, "It's watermelon day." And I said, "You know what? It is watermelon day." And her aunt, who also happened to be there, said, "Oh my gosh, is there some new holiday that I didn't know about?" And me and the 15-year-old looked at each other, and we were like, "No, it's like 85 degrees outside. It's watermelon day. This is a watermelon day." Okay, well, today's not watermelon day, but I'm going to have a summer salad series. And again, I want y'all to say that super fast. So, summer salad series, the first one that I'm going to make is my hot bacon broccoli slaw. And that's what I'm going to make tonight, but I'm going to tell you 3 different ways to enjoy it, because I will not eat the same thing 3 days in a row unless it's pizza. Pizza or spaghetti, I could eat, a couple of days in a row. For me, it's got to be different, spiced up, whatever. So I'm going to make my base is going to be hot bacon broccoli slaw. That recipe is already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. So if you want to open another browser, don't leave the chat. So Carol Lou suggested that earlier, opening another browser so that you could go do this. But if you want to do that, you can go check out IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and type in hot space bacon, and it should come right up. So, hot bacon broccoli slaw. The first ingredient that we're going to make in the hot bacon broccoli slaw is, and I'm just going to tell you what I make it with, because I've already got it mostly cooked, or we would be here until 10 o'clock tonight cooking this. So, for hot bacon broccoli slaw, you're going to take whatever your favorite kind of bacon is. Mine is always going to be a center cut. It's always going to be uncured. I love the ones from, and I'm going to have to get another sip. Karen, I think, is here now, and she wore me out. She wore me out walking, so I have to have extra Gatorade Zero tonight. But the first ingredient, the longest part of this, is going to be the bacon. Sure, you can use regular bacon. You can just crisp up some regular bacon, but why would you? Why wouldn't you make hot bacon to go in your broccoli slaw? So the first thing you're going to do is take your favorite kind of bacon. Again, I like uncured, center cut. I do like the Applegate brand from Aldi. I like the uncured, let me think, what is it called? Uncured, center cut, whatever, blah, 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 bacon from Trader Joe's. I like that one. And then I like uncured Sunday bacon. Yeah, Carol, I think so too. And I do like Sunday bacon, which is sometimes a little bit hard to find in a normal grocery store. But all I do, and I'm not going to show you how because that'll take up, we would be here until 10 o'clock, and see, it's already 8:43 Eastern time. And at some point I got to go to bed. At some point I have to eat my supper too and go to bed. But you just take that bacon, you can go over to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and see exactly how to make it. But I cut it in half. I cut the bacon in half this way. So if the bacon's like this, I cut it in half this way and then pull it apart, and I do half at a time. But you're going to I add sugar-free syrup, some kind of sugar-free syrup to it. A little bit of, I use Truvia baking blend because this does have a little bit of real sugar in it, and so it kind of crisps it up really nicely. And then I use Dax Red Mountain Rub. We used to sell this at Casey Kitchen Center back when we had a retail store. We no longer have a retail store, so you can just go online and get this. It's just daxspices.com, and this one's called Red Mountain Rub. As if bacon needed anything else to taste good. My gosh. Oh my gosh, you've got to get this. And then, according to the recipe, you're going to cook it in your air fryer on 380 for somewhere between 14 and 18 minutes. Through the magic of television, mine's already mostly done, so we're just going to let it finish. Mine had about 4 minutes left. So we're going to let that finish cooking while I show you how to put the rest of this together, how to assemble the rest of this. So again, that recipe, the bacon, just the bacon portion of it is called, I call that candied bacon, and we had that at my friend Karen, at my accountability buddy Karen. We had that at her daughter-in-law's bridal shower. One of the better caterers here in town had made a candy bacon so good that people were smuggling it back to their seats, and one person actually wrapped some up and put it in their purse and said they were taking it to their husband, but we all know she was smuggling it out to eat it. Okay, so you're going to assemble the rest of this salad. How you're going to assemble the rest of it is you're gonna mix up a little dressing. So for the dressing, this is a half of a cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, and then it's an 1/8 of a cup of any brand of light mayonnaise. So again, a half a cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, and then an 1/8 of a cup of any brand of light mayonnaise. And I just buy whatever's on sale. Sometimes I use Hellman's Light, sometimes I use, I don't know, just whatever's on sale. Okay, that's the first thing to put in there. Then you are going to, into your dressing, you're going to add some more of the Truvia baking blend, and it's supposed to be 2, or your favorite sweetener, and it's supposed to be 2 teaspoons. I ain't got time to measure that tonight, and there's only about 2 teaspoons left in my bag. It's time to get some more. So I'll put that in there. And then to that, you're going to add some red wine vinegar. So who has had red wine vinegar before? This one is mine and Casey's favorite. So I keep at home, I keep white vinegar, of course. I keep red wine vinegar. I keep rice wine vinegar. I keep apple cider vinegar. This one I go through hands down, over and over and over and over and over again, hands down more than any of the rest of them. So I'm constantly buying this. Now the recipe calls for, let's see, it calls for a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. I'm gonna put more than a tablespoon in here because I love it that much. You could start with a tablespoon and then you could add more to taste if you want to. Yeah. Carol Lou, Lynn, Debbie, yeah, they all love it and they use it all the time. So the reason you're putting the Truvia in here, yeah, Vicki says, yum, my favorite red. Anna's got her hand raised. So the reason that you're doing the, and Roberta loves this one too. You're doing the Truvia baking blend, or whatever your favorite sweetener is because the red wine vinegar, it's vinegar, and it's so, you know, that you got to have just a little bit of sweet with it. And you know, this, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I can already tell from smelling that I need more red wine vinegar because I like mine, I like it tart. So I don't know if you were watching. Again, if you're doing this by the recipe, it's 1 tablespoon, okay? You should have measured out a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. But I love this so much. This was like to right there when I started pouring, so I probably just put 1/4 of a cup. Don't do that unless you've tried it before, but Casey and I love ours. And Casey did a pasta salad for her her friend Jessica's baby shower yesterday. Ooh, the bacon's ready. For her cousin Jessica, her friend, perfect. Her friend Jessica's baby shower yesterday, yeah, she made it normal human. Ooh, Debbie says that it's a great substitute for vinegar and brine for pickling. Did not know that. That's great information. Okay, so let's just stop for a second because we've only got like 12 minutes. When I said watching these videos, joining us here live, watching them later, that this is such a community. So that has what Debbie just said has absolutely nothing to do with Weight Watchers, but it has everything to do with Weight Watchers. So if you like to pickle, if you are into collecting vegetables, that's weird, preparing them for pickling, Debbie just gave some great advice that you wouldn't, oh yeah, and Vicki said the same thing, use the red to pickle onions and cucumbers. Would not have known that. So again, see, that has everything to do with Weight Watchers and yet nothing to do with Weight Watchers, okay? It's the perfect reason to interact with people here because you learn so much stuff. Okay, so we're going to take, it's supposed to be 3 cups of broccoli slaw, and I know some people who shred their own broccoli slaw. I ain't that girl. Okay, I don't have time for that, and this is probably more than 3 cups, but I love this stuff. The hot bacon broccoli slaw is probably my #1. It is, I love it. Love, love, love it. Okay. And to that, you're going to add about a cup of Velveeta shredded cheese. You can use your own favorite shredded cheese. I use the Velveeta shredded cheese. because it's a little bit lower in points and because I like the flavor of it. I'm also going to use some dried cranberries, but I got, and I kept out the little bag. I'm out of them now, but I kept the little bag to show you all to keep the points just a smidge lower, and I came out with 3 points for a cup after all this is said and done. But I used the Craisins 50% less sugar. A lot of y'all asked me about that last time. The Craisins 50% less sugar has just a teeny tiny bit less points. Has a tiny bit less points. Okay, and a little bit less sugar. And I tell you what, I want something, or I'm going to use my tongs to toss this with. Okay, we're going to save the dried cranberries, the 50% less sugar dried cranberries. I'm going to save those to sprinkle on top. Oh my gosh, Carol, that's perfect. Carol said she saw this recipe online and it was called lawnmower salad. That is fantastic. I love that. Lawnmower salad, love it. Totally love it, totally love it. Okay, we're going to add the bacon next. So if you made the candied bacon according to the recipe, you should have some nice approaching crispy little pieces here. And they're going to be so sweet. Let me grab a paper towel real quick. I didn't think this all the way through. Okay, so these are still hot. These are still very hot. So I'm just going to use, you don't have to blot these in a paper towel. I'm just going to use this so that when I crumble them up, and I don't burn my fingers. So then you're going to add to this, and these are so sweet, but you're going to add to this 4 slices. That's 8 little pieces. So it's 4 full slices. And remember when I was talking about breaking them up a little bit, so that's 4 full slices or 8 of these half slices of bacon, of the candied bacon, and that's the bacon that I made in the air fryer. And let's see, what did Debbie say? Making that I would reduce the recipe for broccoli slaw and make that an egg roll in a bowl. Okay, so this summer of salads, you all throw out some salad ideas that you want me to make or that you've made that you think everybody else would love to try. So I would love to hear about that. I would love to hear about your other salad ideas. Okay, while this cools off just a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and pour this dressing in. So we've got the dressing, and see how creamy it came out? So again, that was a 1/2 cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, 1/8 of a cup of some kind of light mayonnaise, 2 teaspoons of Truvia, or your favorite, whatever your favorite low-cal sugar substitute is. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the tongs from the bacon to kind of toss this together. We've got it probably more than 3 cups of broccoli slaw because I got a little carried away. Just put the whole bag of pre-prepared broccoli slaw in there. 1 cup of original Velveeta shreds. I'm getting ready to add my bacon to it. And the bacon, again, it's just my candied bacon recipe. And that is already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Or if you just want to skip straight to the salad, if you go to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, it is called hot bacon broccoli slaw. Or I love the what Carol Lou said, the lawnmower salad. That was fantastic. Okay, so now to this, we're going to add some bacon, some of the bacon crumbles. And again, that's already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Oh, and then it was supposed to be a tablespoon. It's for wimps, just kidding. A tablespoon of the red wine vinegar, and I used probably, I don't know, maybe close to 1/4 of a cup, which is a lot more than a tablespoon, because I love a red wine vinegar. And the good news is, red wine vinegar is 0 points. Oh no, Phyllis can't find Velveeta shreds in her area. Have you tried ordering them through Amazon? I'll look and see if I can find an Amazon link and post that later. That is so sad news. I mean, you can use any kind of shreds. I just don't like, and I understand that Velveeta shreds are a processed cheese product. I get it, understand. I get scolded over my meatless meals group for using things that are, you know, processed, whatever. You can use real cheese if you want to. You can use Dia shreds if you don't want to. If you don't want to, you know, if you don't want to have real cheese. Okay, so Melissa just asked a great question. She said, "Is this your main dish or a side salad and having something with it?" Okay, so both. The answer is both, Melissa. Let me add these real quick and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do with them because I've only left us 5 minutes. So I'm adding the 50% less sugar craisins and a few pepitas. I put those on there and look how beautiful that salad is. Okay, so A, I promise your family will eat this. B, I promise that you will eat this. C, Melissa asked a great question. I do use this as a side dish many times. This is a salad that Casey and I take to almost every function. She took this to the baby shower. We take this to almost every function because people love it so much. But when we take it like that, we're using it as a side, and sometimes when we're at home, we'll use it as a side. I'm going to be eating this as my meal for lunch 3 days this week. Exactly, Debbie. So I'm going to be eating this as my lunch, my meal at lunch at work for 3 days this week, or maybe even at home for supper. I don't know. But because I won't eat the exact same thing 3 different times, one of the days I'm going to throw some chicken in it. So Debbie said throw some rotisserie chicken in it. Perfect. Yep, no brainer. So rotisserie chicken. I do have some tofu that I need to make up. I'll be preparing the tofu separately and then just tossing it in this when it's time to eat. I'm not going to store those together just because tofu, if you don't eat it while it's fresh, does tend to get just a little bit mushy and it does not reheat well. But I love it, love tofu, so I'll be using that as one of my proteins to make this into a complete meal. I've also got a can of garbanzo beans that I can use to put in this. Or, like I said, Casey, when she makes this and takes it to events like the baby shower yesterday, she adds pasta to it. And adding pasta to this, oh gosh, Debbie, yeah, tuna or salmon would be fantastic. So now I'm going to have to get some of that. But Casey adds pasta to this, and you can see how big this bowl is already. When she adds the pasta, and it could be whole wheat pasta, you could do the garbanzo beans, you could add so many things to this. You can take this bowl, and by the time Casey gets done with it, her bowl is like, it's huge. It's a huge bowl of this, and I promise you, everyone eats it. Everyone loves it. Bo was even, her little girl, her 18-month-old Bo was even eating it. Now, she was picking the broccoli out, but she was eating the broccoli slaw flavored noodles that Casey had added to it. She uses the tricolor rotini. Bo had a little knife, and she was going, or not a knife, a fork, and eating. Okay. So, again, we're going to have a summer of salads. This is going to get me prepped for the week. I'm going to add a couple of different things to it for each day so that it's not the same thing and gets boring, every day. So now I have bundled this temptation. I love making simple things like this. I'm meh on getting things ready to eat. Ooh, taco meat would be good too, Vicki. I'm meh on getting things ready for me to have ready to eat at work. So I'm going to bundle those two things together and bundle my temptation, do my temptation bundling. Whew, so y'all have a great week. We are winding it down now. I'm actually going to go eat a little bit of this just by itself because I love it so much. But if you were watching this on YouTube, go ahead and let that next video roll over. I promise you will like it. And Annette says, can't wait to try this. It is so good. I promise everyone will like it. So let that next video roll over. I promise you enjoy it. You will enjoy it. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Please, please, please. Yeah, Debbie says drain and rinse a can of 3 beans to throw in with that. I might actually have that, so I'll have to look at that. And go ahead and click that little bell so that you'll be notified the next time that we start a video. Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed this. I hope you've got something that you're thinking about. Hope you were already thinking about how to bundle some of those temptations. And sorry, Carol Lou, that I stole yours, but I'm sure you'll come up with something else fantastic. But y'all have a great evening and an even better week, and I will see you next time. Good night.